Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is w.i.t.c.h.aholic. This channel we talk about a lot of things, mostly fandoms, especially witch. I also talk about, writing, fanfiction, whatever I think is interesting or important. So today I just want to chat about fanfiction, particularly filing off the serial numbers, which is taking a fanfiction and making enough changes so you could turn it into an ordinary work. And I love fanfiction. I actually wrote a bunch. I'm on fanfiction.net under w.i.t.c.h.aholic, mostly about witch. But I also have some crossovers with Harry Potter and Miraculous Ladybug. So anyway, fanfiction has a bad reputation, but I have seen some awesome things, some awesome stories, plenty of novel-length stories that if they got turned into an original work, I don't think I'd mind paying for it, because it really is good. But when it comes to filing off the serial numbers, it's always like the bad ones that get popular. Not always. The Shadow Hunters is pretty good, by Cassandra Clare. I liked it, though I didn't read the last book yet. I didn't read the other series because I have so much things I want to read. But that's like the only good one. All the others, like 50 Shades, which I didn't read, by the way, but I know what it's about because I like watching videos of people commenting on the films and how bad they are. So, but other fan fiction like 50 Shades of Grey is not only bad, it's about women falling in love with a dangerous and violent men. Yay! Oh my god, why? There's so much good stories out there, like mine. And so I just really want to just talk about this, because yes, if you, like me, is someone who wants to be an author and you have a fan fiction, that's pretty good. It definitely could help you. So I do want to encourage that, but obviously only if you're gonna do it well. So I just want to talk about my thoughts on filing off the serial numbers, give some advice. I would love for this to be a series. If you wrote a fanfiction you want to turn into an original work, you could send me a link in the comments, and I'd love to make a video just giving my thoughts on how to turn it into an original work. I think that'd be great. So just general advice. Though first things first, yes, there are people that have become famous and rich. Again, like E.L. James, for example, from doing this. But just as with writing an original work, that doesn't always happen, Even if you do file off the serial numbers and you have a great work, a great novel, you probably won't become rich and famous, so just keep that in mind. Also, it is a lot of work, and probably even more so than writing an original work, because you have to take this thing that you already wrote and then make all these changes. So just be aware, okay? You shouldn't try to file off the serial numbers unless you're really passionate about this and you really want to make a good book. So first things first, if you want to file off the serial numbers, first, do make sure you at least have an idea of how you want to change it. Like, if there's magic involved, think about how your magic system is and everything. Think about how your characters would be named and all that. Oh, more on that soon. First, is your story complete? Because it'll probably be best to start this if your story is done. And is your story like the average length for the book, for the typical book in your genre? For example, if you want to write a fantasy novel, is your fanfiction the average length? Because, again, it'll probably just be easier. Now, young adult novels, are pretty long. NaNoWriMo's word count is 50,000, but usually young adult novels are more, especially fantasy novels. So if your fan fiction is anywhere from like 50,000, 70,000, 80,000, whatever, like in that range, yes. So that's a good start, especially because, while editing, you'll probably like delete a lot. Now, is it good? And of course, you think it's good, but really, like, think about it. Put yourself in the reader's shoes, and like, is this a good written work? Is it interesting? Does it make sense? Well, if it's hard to do, if you have any comments, reviews, just look at the reviews again. Maybe reread your work a bit to catch any plot holes and stuff that you could fix. Also, of course, make sure everything is spelled right and so on. Now you did this and you think, okay, people would be interested. And again, if you're not sure, if it's a good idea if it's good enough, of course you could ask your friends or whomever to read it and give their opinion. But after this, you looked at it, you read reviews and whatever, and you're like, yeah, this is good. Now, how much does it depend on canon? That's the next step, because, of course, fan fiction, any type of fan fiction is going to be, with someone else's characters and things. But if we're writing an alternate universe or something, like, there are gonna be changes. So think about how much does it depend on canon. For example, if your Harry Potter fanfiction is like basically the books, but Harry's a girl, it's like there's no point really in trying to turn that into an original work. But if yours is like an alternate universe where James and Lily weren't killed, so Neville is the chosen one, and there's just so many differences and stuff, then yes, you could turn that into an original book. By the way, the phone's actually ringing now. I don't know if you could hear this, as I'm talking. But if you do, yes, that's the phone in the house ringing. So anyway, yes. Back to what I was saying. Then, of course, even if there's differences, you still need to, make changes. But if you're fanfiction, there's a lot of differences, even if it's not an alternate universe, but there's just differences. For example, Harry Potter again. if you made an original character, for example, set in America in the the wizarding world there, which, by the way, someone did. There's this great fan fiction called Alexandra Quick. I didn't finish it, but from what I've read, the parts that I read, it's very good. It's about this girl in America in the wizarding world there. Yeah, it's really good. Just like England has Bertie Bott's every flavor bean, so this author gave the ice cream with, all these flavors. I found it really good. So if you wrote something like that, or, again, Harry Potter, you have an original character in a different wizarding world, in a different country, or anything, or if your series has a lot of worlds that weren't expanded upon, and you wrote about either a minor character or your own character on one of these worlds, and you made up the whole system and government and everything. Yes, that's a very good base to file off the serial numbers. So again, even if your story depends more on canon, you could still file off the serial numbers. It'll just need more work. Okay, so after this, your story, okay, it doesn't depend so much on canon and things, and you have an idea of what to change. Now, exactly what changes to make? So let's start with names. Of course, you have to change the names, but it shouldn't be like Harry Potter. You shouldn't make your character be Larry Potter or something like that. No, it has to be like a different name. Like no one would ever guess that. Oh, she wrote a Harry Potter fan fiction and changed the name. No, it has to be different. If it's hard for you to think of names, a great way is to take Harry Potter characters and just do just switch around the first and last names. For example, but you should do the more common names. Like if you take, Draco and Sirius and everything, and you have Sirius Malfoy. That's like, no, obviously, right? I think people are gonna think that you just, and rightly so, that you just based this on a Harry Potter fan fiction. What you should do is take the names, Harry, Fred, George, Percy, and so on. Maybe not the last name Weasley, but the first names, and then you should do the last names like Potter, Granger, Boot, Corner, Bones, and so on, and just mix and mash. So you could get like Lily Boot, Harry Corner, Michael Johnson, That's another way to get a name. Also, again, you could do this with any series that you like. And even then, you should probably just do a little rearrangings. Because, again, even if you have like Lily Corner, someone who is a big Harry Potter fan might get that, oh, Lily Corner. Like, I don't think even the biggest Harry Potter fan would automatically assume that, oh, it's just Lily's first name and Michael Corner's last name, but again, maybe you should still do some changing after that. Like, if you do have Lily Corner, maybe just make her name be Millie Corner or something, or Millie Corn, and there, That's an original name. Please use this if this helps. Like, of course you can, but in case you're not sure, yes, I'm giving you permission. You can use these names, these ideas. Next is like physical characteristics. Again, using Harry Potter. Like, we know like Harry Potter is known for his green eyes and messy black hair. So like, again, like authors do not own that. You can give your character green eyes and black hair, but like maybe, especially if he's still a lot like Harry and just personality and stuff, like, maybe change that to like blonde hair and green eyes. And if we're basing him on Harry, even if you gave him a name like, I don't know, Jackson Brown or something, so no one would think about Harry Potter, you should still make him, different in terms of looks. For example, make him maybe like a bit heavier, on the short side. Obviously, no scar on the forehead and the lightning bolt. Harry's like pretty athletic, so maybe make him again not as maybe make him not someone who's not athletic, doesn't like sports, that kind of stuff. Harry's usually just like always impulsive and, things, doesn't listen to authority. Maybe make your character someone, yes, who does listen to authority and is cautious. Right? And just think ways to change that. So, and again, like, I don't think you have to change every single thing, right? Like, you could still have your character have black hair, but, if you're making him like someone who's also like athletic and skinny and impulsive and so on, maybe just, change his hair color. So that's that. Now, about the magic system. Again, I'm using Harry Potter just because so many people are familiar with the story. So, again, like, J.K. Rowling does not own the concept of wands and the magic school and so on. But again, she does own the particular way of how wands are made. So, if you want to use wands in your book, again, maybe just change the way they're made. Like, maybe there's, and again, please feel free to use whatever examples I'm giving if you like them. So maybe you want to do in your story that wands, they come from a sacred grove of trees on an island that's fed by a magical river or something. Or maybe like a specific trees that the gods blessed or something. Or maybe you do not need wands, but you need something. Maybe you need an amulet or anything. And maybe these things, it's just random. You're a wizard, you're just walking and you just feel like, oh, that pebble there, that's my magic amulet that'll help me focus my powers or something. Maybe you don't need wands at all, but you still need a school to learn how to control it. Again, like, you don't need to make such major changes and completely change everything, but make some changes so people won't think, oh, she just copied Harry Potter, Do something like that. And again, speaking about magic, there are so many ways to have magic. Again, you could do Harry Potter, it's genes. A lot of series, it's like you're just born with it or not. You could do it like gods, you're blessed by the gods. That's why. Or, who knows, you could do like a curse. Like, specific people, they were maybe like their family did something to anger the gods, so they were cursed with magic in a world that most people do not have magic, and so they are feared and shunned and whatever. And then again, there's the specific magic. There's so many you could do. Magic is based on the elements. Again, and just with that, there's so many things you could do. Which, by the way, I just want to say, if you are doing something with elements, please try to be a little more original. Like, instead of the usual fire, water, air, earth, whatever fifth element. Like, because there actually are, like, a lot of other ones. Like, the Asian elements are different. So, you could do based on that. Or just make your own combination of, like, sound, light, emotions, whatever. Even those are pretty common. So again, don't only just like change it to be an original work. You should have some changes to be original. I mean, though, I don't think you could really be 100% original in anything now, because just so much books, but just try to do something a little bit out of the box. For example, there's this great series, The Familiars, and that which all animals, in this country, each type of animal has a specific talent. So wizards can also have their magic. A wizard also has a familiar who has their own type of magic. For example, Aldwin is a cat, and the cats can be telekinetic, sometimes also telepathic. Birds could cast illusions. You know, so if one do something like that, using familiars, but but obviously do your own. Don't copy the familiars. Do your own take. So that's, you've changed the name, characteristics, magic system, and everything. Now I want to talk a bit about plot. Again, using Harry Potter, but I'll also give one or two other examples. So if you're still doing something like Harry Potter, like a chosen one type thing, but again, like different, but so like different country and just a lot of differences. Here's some ways you could do that. Starting with Harry is an orphan. Maybe in your story, the protagonist is not an orphan. Maybe he has parents, but they're always on the run. Or maybe he is an orphan, but, he's not abused. His aunt and uncle or whoever adopted him, they love him. Or maybe like his parents had to fake their deaths and stuff, but they're watching him. Meanwhile, he is living with, a family friend or something, and they, disguised themselves. They gave him a fake name and everything. There was a lot. And the chosen one also, like, there's a lot of ways you can do to change it. For example, Usually chosen ones, they're like, there's no reason really. Like, think about the Hunger Games. It's not really like Katniss is special. It just happened to be, that she became the one, to inspire the rebellion, because she volunteered to take her sister's place, and just events just happened after that. You know, Harry Potter, it's not like because he's actually more capable than anyone else or anything. It's just that, because of the prophecy, Voldemort chose him. So if you want to do a chosen type special, a thing, want to do a like, they actually are special, again, because they are chosen by the gods, and there's a sign or something, or there's like, again, if you're a world with magic, you could do like, all the people born, let's say, with purple eyes or green eyes or white hair or whatever, that's a proven sign that they are destined to, I don't know, defeat the Dark Lord or something, you know. Or another thing about chosen ones is like, again, there's not really like training. Again, like Star Wars, for example, it's not like he was, trained from birth or whatever. So in your story, why not have it that, this person was actually trained, because maybe the chosen one actually just gets picked from a group of youngsters who were trained and had the same abilities and everything, so maybe do that, maybe have like a competition to choose the chosen one or something, because there's a prophecy, but, as prophecies usually are, it's not very clear, and this is how they decided, to do it or something. Like, there's so many ways. Again, like, I think that's most of it. Oh, here's one or two other examples. Again, I'm using Witch because that's one of my most favorite series. If you're watching this channel, it's probably also yours. Again, which is about 5 girls, getting the power of the elements to protect the universe. So if you want to turn your witch fanfiction into an original, again, like, first of all, like, change the powers, right? Like, do different elements. You could do, like, again, the Chinese system or something, or just make your own. In my story, that I have, and one of the stories that I have of that, basically, the characters aren't original, but they only appeared in one special issue. So I give them powers, and I made my own. I give them the powers of space and time, sound and light, all the elements combined, stealth and luck, and mind and soul, right? So you could do something like that, or, if you like the elements, you could do it a little different. Like, they have the power of earth, for example, divided between them. So this girl has the power of any kind of rocks. This girl has plants. This girl has metal, or something like that. And then combined, which they only do in, emergencies. They're all powerful or something, right? Also, or this and any other magical girl type show, if you want to give them a transformation, transformations are never explained, like where these magical clothes come from and stuff, how they get designed and whatever. So to be different, you could do that. You can give, like, there's a magical seamstress somewhere and who designs it or something. Or, just make it that they don't have a transformation exactly, you know. Or like maybe like make it they don't have a transformation with clothes. But they do, get like stronger or something. Or maybe they I don't know, but try to like think, to be a little like creative. Um, usually magical girl shows, they need to like protect the universe, from some evil. Maybe make your magical girls the ones chosen by evil. I don't think anyone has done that before. And even though they're fighting for evil, it's just how they were raised. They think they are, protecting the universe or something. And there's just this whole conflict about, like, why are you, the good, why are people, attacking us every time we do something? We're the good guys. No, you're not the good guys. We are, That could be a very interesting thing. Um, think. Oh yes, another. Again, I didn't go over so much in depth. Also, again, like changing personality and just likes and stuff. For example, Will Vandam, she likes swimming and stuff. So if you're having characters based on her, maybe change that. But like it depends. Like which isn't that well known. Also, again, if you changed everything else, you gave her like a name that is very like different. Like no one's gonna think like, oh, you just copied the character of Will Vandam, and you changed her like personality and her just circumstances and everything. Yeah, you could keep her like as a swimmer. Like again, like it all depends how much changes you made and how in depth they were and everything. So I think this is it for now. This might be a series if you people want it. So far I haven't had any comments on my videos. So again, if you like this, if you want this to be a series, if you want me to give advice on your fanfic, again, please tell me in the comments. If you like w.i.t.c.h., please read my stories on fanfiction.net and review. Again, I'm also w.i.t.c.h.aholic there. So I'll see you another time. I actually really do not have a set schedule. I probably won't have one out tomorrow because it's before the Sabbath, so I don't know really if I'll have time, but now I post at least once or twice a week. Also, soon the Jewish holidays will be up like September or October, but as for now, I don't really have a set schedule, but I do post, at least weekly. Again, you could always ask me in a comment when I will have the next video. Oh, and I would like to do some, movie and TV reviews, and again, I would also really like to do videos on like fandoms and modesty and everything they'll probably have to wait till I get video editing software. So, like, if these ideas sound intriguing to you, tell me so I know to start doing it. Okay, I will see you later.